This past summer, I set out on a journey to explore the wilds of Montana on my bicycle. I parked my car on a suburban street in the city of Missoula, loaded up my things, and took off on a 12-day solo bicycle touring adventure. It was a journey filled with awe-inspiring landscapes, challenging terrain, and unforgettable experiences. I discovered the beauty of Montana in a way that few ever will, and I emerged from my journey with a newfound sense of freedom and self-discovery. Join me as I take you on a cycling adventure through Montana's stunning landscapes, experience its rich culture and history, and show you the thrill of traveling by bike across this remarkable state. This is my story of determination, adventure, and freedom on two wheels. This is my story of my 600-mile bike tour across Montana. So I've gone 28 miles, something like that, and I just pulled over on the side of the road here to eat some food because I can feel myself bonking. I barely ate any breakfast this morning. I just was anxious to get going, so I have an avocado, bread, and granola. That's my lunch. Super fancy. These are just leftovers from my house that I had, and I just thought, okay, well, I'll make an avocado sandwich. Definitely not the best sandwich I've ever had, but definitely not the worst. I'm gonna make 2 of these, eat a whole avocado, and then continue on my way. So I'm 33 miles into my ride today, and I just reached the top of a mountain pass. So I have a small downhill now before continuing uphill. It never ends. Up, down, away we go. I've put my other jacket on. I brought 2 jackets on this trip. I bought like my real rain jacket, which is the jacket I had on earlier, and I brought this one, which is more of like a windbreaker than anything, and it looks like it could rain again, unfortunately. Alright, so I made it to the campground. Check this place out. So they have a covered picnic table for the rain. They have 2 bear boxes here to put your food in. There's a view of the lake down here. Look at that. Nice view of the lake all the way around. We're up on this little hill. This whole area is for hiker bikers. So there's like 8 camping pads for tents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are bike racks at almost every one of these camping spots. There's water up here. There's a fire pit with firewood, although it's wet. And what else? There's a grill. Oh, right here, look at it. There's electricity. Is this electricity? If that's electricity, oh my gosh, it's electricity. That's cool. And there's a bike workbench thing, so you can lift your bike up if you need to work on it while you're here in the hiker-biker campsite. This has got to be one of the best hiker-biker sites I have ever visited on any of my bike tours anywhere in the world. This is really cool. And it cost $8 for the night. Not too bad. The other thing that is nice about this campsite, which should be obvious, is I'm the only person here, and that's the way I like it. So I'm very, very happy with spending $8. When I rode my bicycle down the California coastline back in 2001, that was my very first bike tour at the age of 17. These hiker-biker sites in the state of California cost $1. And at the time, $1 seemed like a lot of money to me, and I was like trying to get out of paying that $1 fee. So now it's $8. Inflation has certainly driven the price up, but $8 is definitely more reasonable than like the full $25 or whatever the regular car campers are having to pay down the hill. Speaking of down the hill, there are bathrooms and showers down this hill as well, so it's just a short walk, and then you got everything you need. I'm going to set up my tent now and change into my warm clothes because it looks like it could rain here at any moment. It's still kind of sprinkling. And then I'm going to make some food. So camp is set up now. The sun's coming out and it feels like a totally different place than when I first arrived. I've got my electronics, my camera batteries plugged in over here, and my phone, trying to charge that up. Then I'm going to charge my bike lights after that because I had two rear bike lights on today, and I used them quite a bit because it was raining and dark. So, day one. Pretty good, actually. When I woke up this morning, I had a lot of anxiety. Like, I slept in my van last night. I drove up from Utah over the last 2 days, and then I met a guy here in Missoula who agreed to watch my van while I'm away on this bike tour. So I parked my van in front of his house and slept in my van overnight. And then this morning I woke up and had to prepare for the bike tour. And yeah, I wasn't feeling so good, honestly. And I usually don't feel good at the beginning of a lot of bike tours. The hardest part is just starting sometimes. You know, just getting out of bed, getting out of your house, getting on the bike, packing everything up, getting those final few items packed up is really hard. So once I started going, I think I felt a little bit better, even though it was pouring rain. And now that I'm out here, I feel like I can do it. So, yeah, things are going well. What isn't going well is before this bike tour began, I was playing in an adult soccer league, like a co-ed soccer league, just for fun. And a few weeks ago, I shifted my body weight really quickly while playing soccer, and I just collapsed to the ground, and my knee was just in so much pain. And I thought that I'd be over it in like 2 days or something, but weeks went by and I just wasn't getting any better. So I eventually went to a doctor. They x-rayed it. They found that it wasn't broken, but they basically told me that I probably tore the meniscus in my knee, which is the cartilage essentially. And so ever since then, I've still continued to play soccer, but I was playing goalie, so I was kind of just standing there most of the time. But yeah, I was doing better like 2 weeks ago, and then during the soccer game I moved again very suddenly and I tore it again. So I've torn the meniscus twice in my right knee. So my right knee at the moment is not in a good state, and I woke up this morning, it was in pain. I just continued cycling and it was okay once I got on the bike. There were a few moments going uphill where I thought, oh, this is not going to be good for my knee. But I finished the day pretty strong. But now that we're in this campsite and I'm like bending over to set up the tent and things like that, my knee is hurting again. Just walking hurts it way more than riding the bike. I don't know why. It's very strange. But this is going to be something that I have a feeling is going to be bothering me throughout this entire bike tour. And things just like walking to the bathroom here is very hard for me at the moment. So I don't know how I'm going to do this whole bike tour. I'm glad I'm able to bike on it at all. The other thing is my other knee, look at this one, is all cut up from, I have road rash or astroturf burns from soccer on there as well. So I was feeling this today, just this constant bending motion on my bike, and you can see it's kind of split open in a whole bunch of areas, but hopefully the bears aren't attracted to the smell of fresh blood. So I have 2 wounded knees on this bike tour. Not exactly the way you want to begin a bicycle touring adventure like this, but I'm out here and I'm going to make the best of it. So good morning. Man, I slept pretty well. I think I slept for about 9 hours. The weather is perfect right now. Birds are chirping, the sun's out, but I'm in the shade, so it's really comfy and I don't want to get up. Day 2 on a bike tour is always hard for me because my muscles are kind of sore. I'm still out of shape. I just don't want to go. But today is all about pacing. I gotta get in the mode for a long distance bike tour. So, plan is change out of my clothes, pack everything up, eat a little food, and then we'll go. It rained a little bit last night, but not very much. It was just sprinkling. And I had a dream that a bear had walked right past my campsite. And then when I woke up in the morning, I could see this line of bear tracks walking right past my tent. So that was the dream I had. Luckily, it wasn't a scary dream. It was kind of a peaceful bear dream, if such a thing exists. But yeah, So I'm just gonna eat a little bit. I'm getting a late start. It's already 10 o'clock in the morning because I'm a lazy butt. Eat an apple, a tangerine, some dates, some granola, maybe a Cliff Bar, and then I'll be on my way. I just stopped here at this little visitor center. It's closed right now, so I'm not gonna go in. Just taking a break. I've gone almost 6 miles, so good little start. Super nice here. I'm in Seeley, which is like, there's a golf course and there's horses. See the horses? Really nice mountain views. Look at this behind me. Oh yeah. Anyways, just stopping here. Wanted to talk about my goal for today, and my goal for today is not to go super far. Yesterday I did 51 miles. Today my plan is to go about 45, 43, something like that. So even less than what I did yesterday. I started pretty strong yesterday and went kind of fast, maybe faster than I should have. Overall I did good, but for the first day that was pretty long. I would have rather have done like 40 yesterday and 50 today. But so I'm doing the reverse, and the goal is to find a pace that I can keep for the rest of this bike tour, as well as not injure my right knee, which I mentioned earlier. I tore the cartilage in a few weeks ago. So walking around the campsite this morning was pretty painful, but now that I'm on the bike, I'm doing okay. I'm feeling it a little bit, but yeah, the goal today is just not to hurt myself. It's too early in the tour to have an injury. So I'm passing through the town of Seeley right now, and there's a little bike path which is super nice. Makes me feel like I'm back in Sweden or something. I wish it was like this the whole way, but no. It's just through town for like a mile and a half, I think, and then I'm back on the highway. The guy who's watching my van while I'm away on this trip, his name's Bill. When I told him that I was going on this road, he said, you might not want to go that way because the shoulder is super narrow. And I considered changing my route, but after looking at Google Street View, I kind of just determined like I'm just gonna go for it. There's not a lot of traffic out here. And this is like a lot of the roads that I've biked on in America. Very thin shoulder, lots of trucks. You just get used to it. I pulled over here in a little rest stop area. My right knee is kind of hurting me, and I'm going up some little hills and it's just bothering me quite a bit. Shoot, day 2 and I'm already in pain. It sucks. Yesterday I finished the day pretty strong, and my leg felt good, and so I was thinking, oh man, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna do this trip. And now today I'm only 12 miles into the ride, and I'm like dying right now. My right leg just has no strength, so I'm like pedaling up these hills with one leg. It sucks. Just as I was coming up this little hill, some guy in a van came up to me and stopped alongside of me as I was going up the hill. And he says, "Are you looking for somebody?" And I said, "No, I'm not looking for anybody." I didn't want to tell him I was alone. But he says, "I just ran into another cyclist way up on the mountain. He's completely lost. He's doing the Great Divide mountain bike route, and he's way off trail. And I thought maybe you were looking for him." And I said, "No, that wasn't me, but I had heard that there were people cycling the Great Divide right now." So apparently that guy's way off the route. He climbed up a giant mountain he didn't need to, and he's 20 miles in the wrong direction. Poor guy. Anyways, the Great Divide mountain bike race is going on right now. Those riders are going from Canada down to Mexico. I'm going the opposite direction at the moment. So if I do see any of them, they're going to be going the opposite way. But they're taking single track trails and dirt roads and stuff, whereas I'm on this main road at the moment. So anyways, I'll keep an eye out for the lost cyclists going in the wrong direction on the Great Divide mountain bike route. Check this thing out. Oh, the sandwich cost me $10, so I hope it's good. Oh man, I think I could eat about 3 of these. Maybe I should have bought more. But yeah. Damn, look at that. That looks good. Yes. This is exactly what I wanted. Yeah. There's a part of me that like wants to bike back and buy it. I haven't even bitten into it, and I want another one. Bicycling makes everything taste better. I mean, this is good. It's just bread and vegetables and a little bit of cheese, but damn, it's good. But yeah, see, I'm dropping stuff out of the bottom of the sandwich, which is exactly why I don't want to eat the sandwich right where I'm camping. So I don't want to have all this food on the ground that bears could stumble across. Not seeing any bears yet. I saw 2 deer today. I saw these 2 like storks that were giant, but they were far away and I couldn't really get them on camera. But they were really cool looking. And then I saw what I thought was a bald eagle, but I'm not really sure, so I'm not going to count that one. But I've seen 4 deer thus far on this trip. Those 2 storks, and that's about it. A few little like groundhogs and stuff. down this time, which is good. So I'm just looking for a place to pitch my tent. I found this kind of like big open forested area, which is what I want because I don't want a bear sneaking up on me. Whereas if I was in the dense forest, that'd be easier to do. But right here you can kind of see there's a trail going back from those trees this direction, and look, like you can see it here pretty clearly. Look, that's a trail, animal trail going back. So what kind of animal is walking through here? I don't know. But I don't want to be on this trail. So I'm just trying to see if I can find a spot. There aren't a lot of spots that are clear of bushes. Super nice though, huh? Yeah. Thinking over there. I just want to walk over there before I try to push my bike all that way. Got bear spray in my other hand just in case. Yeah, this looks like a nice little spot right here. Super nice. This would be good. It's just a little slanted, but right here, put the tent. There's another little spot I see over there which looks nice too, but it's further to push the bike. I think I'm gonna go right here. I have like a 360-degree view all around. The only direction that a bear might be able to sneak up on me is from this direction behind me here. You can see that line of trees right there. They could come pretty quickly out of there, but I don't think that would happen. So I think I'm gonna push the bike over to here. Oops, someone's calling me out here in the middle of the forest. Hey, Jason.
What's up, buddy?
I'm surviving. I'm out in the middle of the forest right now. I was just pitching my tent.
Oh, okay. You want me to call you back a little bit, or what?
I mean, maybe just because the mosquitoes are biting me a little bit. But maybe as soon as I set up my tent, I'll call you back. Hey, Jason. Good, except for the mosquitoes at the moment. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm in Montana, in the middle of the forest, and I'm just wild camping tonight. My leg is not the greatest, but I'm able to keep going. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the doctor 4 times now about my knee. So, but they basically just said you're okay to keep going on it. Just how much pain can you tolerate, basically. Just a random change of subject. Can you believe like cell phones exist? Like I'm in the middle of the forest, like thousands of miles away from you, and we're having a conversation, and I have internet and stuff. It's crazy, you know. It's so cool though. Our we did. 22 years ago we went on our first bike tour together, and we didn't have cell phones. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. So it definitely brings a new dynamic to bike touring, like having the phone and being able to look up like where the next restaurant is and what their hours are and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like tonight I'm gonna watch Netflix on my phone. I'm gonna watch a movie in my tent in the middle of the forest. That's cool. Oops, I lost you, I think. Just as I was talking about how cool cell phones are, you cut out on me. I lost you. All right. Well, that was Jason. I was talking about how cool cell phones were, and then now my mom is calling me. Look at that. Hey, Mom. That was weird. I was talking to Jason, and then it called you. Did I call you, or did you call me? Oh, I must have like somehow like hit it with my cheek or something. Cause yeah, I was talking to Jason, and then I was like, Jason, where'd you go? And then I was like, oh, my mom's calling now. He's calling me back. Okay, sorry. Bye. Hey. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was like, oh, just as I was saying that. It's about 8 o'clock right now. The sun is about to go down behind the trees here. I have hung my food over here somewhere in these trees, and I'm basically ready for bed. So I have downloaded a movie on the Netflix app, so I'm going to watch this movie in my tent in the middle of the forest and then go to bed. I think that's a pretty nice way to end the day, don't you? Anyways, just crawling in here. Home sweet home. This is the first time I am wild camping here in Montana. Should be a little scary, especially once the sun goes down. But yeah, I think I'm ready for it. I think I picked a good spot. Ask me in the morning.
Stop. What was that? Oh, he said, play something fast.
My knee is really hurting me this morning. Last night when I went to bed, my knee was fine. And as soon as I woke up this morning, it was the first thing I felt was just knee pain. It's kind of like radiating pain going from the top of my kneecap down, sometimes as far as my ankle on my right side. And it feels like the bone is just like vibrating constantly. There's basically no relief. It just hurts all the freaking time. Alright, so I'm back on the main road, headed north towards Kalispell. I'm not going to quite get there today, I'll go through there tomorrow. But yeah, I got a super late start today. A typical Darren Alff late start. I didn't get out of bed until 10:30. Didn't pack up my tent until 11. And, oh, there's a deer or something on the road up ahead. Hey, you're the first bike tourist I've seen.
Hey, you're the guy. Hey, I'm great. I thought I might run into you.
That's funny.
You're the cycling pro.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm one of your. I'm on your threads.
Cool.
My name's Ed Rodriguez.
Hey, that's cool.
How you doing?
Good.
Alff.
Yeah, Darren Alff.
Darren Alff.
Yeah. Hi,
nice to meet you, Darren.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
So, what are you doing?
I'm going across country.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Where
I'm
did
going
you start
to
from?
Virginia. I started in Bellingham.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I just left some friends in Kalispell
Yep.
and just having a great time.
Cool. Well, yeah, it's nice out here today, at least.
Well, it's
Got
not
some rain
raining.
ahead of
Yeah,
us,
yeah. I hit rain all the way through the Cascades. It was, it was still good,
Yeah.
but it was, yeah, it was wet.
That's awesome. How long to get here?
Let's see. I left on the 29th of May.
Okay.
So I've been on the road
That's
for
pretty
what,
good.
10 days.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm
You're
moving.
making-
That section, my friends went out and picked me up, so I have to, get rid of about 100 miles or so.
Yeah.
That we wanted to spend more time together. They had to leave town, so I said, okay. So they drove out, picked me up, and
That's awesome.
yeah, it was cool.
That's
So, Darren,
cool. We got to get a picture together.
yeah, for sure.
Well, that was cool. He's going all the way across the country, and he's 73 years old, and he's from Santa Barbara, California. I'm from Camarillo, California, which are like cities practically right next to each other. So very cool to run into another bicycle tourist. Very cool to run into someone who's doing something so epic. And yeah, it was a fun little rest stop there to stop and talk to him. Now, onward. He's already gone 30 miles today, and I've gone 6. That's the power of waking up early. There was a couple in that car right there that just passed me. They pulled up alongside me, which is always a little scary. And they were like, thanks for your videos, the Bicycle Touring Pro, woo! And then they just drove off. So that was kind of cool. Apparently they passed me going the opposite direction, then turned around just to say hi. And then they turned around again to go back the way they were going. So it's pretty funny. So that's the second person today that's recognized me out here on the road. All right, I made it to Swan Lake. It says the longest lake without a dam, maximum depth 140 feet, 2,680 acres. Pretty nice. A few little houses scattered around, but otherwise pure nature, which is awesome. I've gone 26.5 miles today. Pretty good. I'm only going like 15 more, so today's a very short day just because there's a campground here, and then the next campground after that is also like 45 miles away. So if I continued past this first campground, I'd have to cycle either and pay for a hotel or go 90 miles today. So I don't want to go 90 miles. I'm going to go 45 today and 45 tomorrow. Make it chill, make it relax, keep my knee in one piece. So that's the plan. This is Swan Lake. Hey, how are you? So I'm just arriving now in Big Fork, Montana, and there's this nice little walking and biking trail along the edge of the river leading into town. It looks like it only goes for about 2 miles or so, but I'm enjoying it. This country, Montana, makes me think of Sweden in a lot of ways. It's very similar landscape, at least. The people are totally different, but the landscape is very, very similar to the bike tours that I've done in Sweden. So my plan now is to go into town. There's a supermarket. I'm almost out of food, so I want to go there, get some food just for tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, and then head straight to the campsite and call it early so I can rest and kind of clean some of the things on my bike, make some small repairs and adjustments, and get a good night's sleep tonight. So very easy day today. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit more stressful because I'm going into the city, but it should be more interesting maybe, I think. Once again, designated hiker bite tent site per person, $8, non-resident. So, bike campsite, I am here apparently. I don't know where that is. Where did I come in? Oh, I see, I came in this way. So I go over here, it's right there. Looks like there's someone over there already. So I made it to the campground. There's quite a few people around, which is not nearly as nice as my first hiker-biker campsite that I was in. And there's someone behind me playing the violin, which is exactly what you want to hear when you come to a nice outdoor nature environment, is somebody who can't play the violin practicing the violin. Hopefully this doesn't go on all night. Today was a good day. It was very short, 45 miles or so, and very flat. A little bit of rain on and off throughout the day. And even though the weather forecast said there was going to be 10 full days of sun during my bike tour here in Montana, the weather has suddenly flipped. And now there are like 6 days of rain coming up. So, and today was supposed to be sunny also, and it was raining all day long. So I don't know what the weather is reporting, but they're way, way off. So anyways, we got rain in the forecast for the next week. Today I saw one fox, which was really cool. I didn't get it on camera. It was too fast. It kind of ran away from me as soon as I saw it. Saw a fox. I saw 6 deer, 2 of which I got on camera. I saw a bunch of chipmunks, and I've barely spoken to anybody in the last 3 days. The few people that I have spoken to just at stores and things like that have been very, very friendly, so that's been good. And what I've noticed also is a lot of the truck drivers, small trucks and big trucks, will like wave or nod or do a little peace sign at me as I'm cycling past. So that's kind of cool too. People do seem friendly overall. Now, I've talked about this before, but usually during the first 3 days of a bike tour, this is what I call getting over the 3-day hump. And so I am now 3 days into my bike tour. I've just completed day 3, and I do feel like I have gotten past the 3-day hump of just getting into the groove of bicycle touring. The one major thing that happened today was I noticed that my crotch was hurting me a whole lot yesterday. And so I was sitting there for hours on end as I rode my bike thinking, how do I fix this problem, and why is this problem bothering me now? Because it hasn't been bothering me before this trip. And I think the answer is my shoes. So before this bike tour, I decided to leave my clipless SPD shoes and pedals at home and just ride in a pair of flat cycling shoes. These are cycling specific shoes, but there's no clip on the bottom there, see? So I have flat pedals now on my bike that I'm just kind of standing on as I pedal. So what I realized was, as I was pedaling, I normally pedal with my foot kind of like at an angle like this. It's not just flat on the pedals. So my foot is usually like this as I'm pedaling, and as I was pressing down, because I'm not clipped in, my foot was slipping on the pedal every time I would press down on the pedal, and I was having to constantly readjust my foot, pull it back up each almost pedal stroke practically, or every 10 pedal strokes or something like that, I'd have to be constantly pulling my foot up. So as I would slide down the pedal, my crotch was getting lower and lower on the bicycle seat, which was then causing me pain. So today I lowered my bicycle seat just a millimeter or two, and that seemed to solve 90% of my problem. However, my pedals are still slipping a little bit, and I don't know if it's my shoe combination with my pedals or what it is, but what I'm planning to do tomorrow is go into Kalispell, which is the next major city, find a bike shop and try to buy some new pedals that have a little bit more grip to them. My old pedals, I think I've just worn out the grip. I've worn them for so many bike tours that there's just no more grip. And it's wet out here, so my foot is slipping, and I have new shoes, so maybe it's the shoes, I don't know. But I'm gonna buy some new pedals tomorrow. That is one of the big things on my agenda. And then hopefully my entire crotch pain issue sort of thing will be totally solved. So, I'm on the road now, and today I am headed into the cities of Kalispell and Whitefish. This is probably going to be one of the most high traffic days of the entire bike tour. Super nice homes around here, look at this. Ooh, nice. I'll take one of those. So I've gone 11 and a half miles now. I just got off of the highway, and now I'm cycling on this protected bike lane that goes all the way into Kalispell for the next 9 miles or so. So I'll continue on this for 9 miles, and then once I get to town, I plan to stop at the bike shop to see if they have any pedals that I can buy. I want to see if I can get some better pedals so I have better grip with my feet as I'm riding. So that's the plan, just gonna cruise here and then get to Kalispell. All right, so I stopped in Kalispell and bought some new pedals. These pedals cost me $65, which seems like a lot for a pedal, but totally money well spent because these new pedals feel like a dream compared to the pedals I had previously. So I actually can grip the pedal now. I had totally worn all the grip off my old pedals. Anyways, now I'm on a country road. There's absolutely no shoulder, so I should put the camera away. So I biked past this pizzeria that had pizza by the slice, and I got this for $4, which looks pretty good. I was tempted to get 2 of them, but I'm not that hungry, so. This is good. I'm glad I didn't get 2 though. It's really big. My campsite's only maybe 5 or 10 miles away, so not too much further to go. It looks like it could rain though here at any moment.
I'm Bill, doing the Great Divide Mountain Bike Trail.
The whole thing.
Gonna see how far I get.
That's cool. So did you start up in Canada or?
No, I started here in Whitefish, I guess 2 days ago. I wanted to go to Canada, so I biked up there, got my passport looked at, and then did a U-turn and biked back here, just along the highway.
Yeah, and now you're going south.
Now I'm going south.
That's awesome.
Show my passport again, hopefully.
Have you done a big bike trip like this before?
No, I've done just a handful of weeks.
Yeah. Well, that's a big bike trip.
Yeah, I guess the way I see it is just like a lot of those stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Consecutively, so yeah.
Yeah. Cool, and you got a pretty good setup here.
Yeah, that's the Bruce Lemur. It's a Karate Monkey Seal. It's definitely heavy, but you know, I like to travel luxuriously.
Doesn't look too bad to me.
Doesn't look too bad.
Look at my bike.
Yeah. It definitely. Yeah, it's light in some places. So yeah.
What's been the highlight of your ride so far?
Oh, definitely. I mean, getting into Canada, that was cool. That was my first time in there, even though I was there for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. But
yeah,
I grabbed a kokanee.
What's that?
It's like a Canada Coors Light.
Oh, okay.
But I got one there, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what are you looking forward to most about your trip?
Just doing this every day. Just laying out in the dirt, biking, having fun, not having fun, the whole part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I just thought I'd interview you while you're setting up your tent.
Heck
there.
yeah.
I'm 50 this year, so well,
You're 50?
Yeah.
You aged well, dude. Congratulations. I didn't think you was 50.
So, yeah, thought something to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's another mate of mine, he's 10 years older than me, so like when I was 14, he was 50, we went to the Himalayas on motorbikes. And there was no talk about anything doing for his 60th this time, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to sort my own trip out.
And I would daft enough to say, yeah, I'll come with you.
Yeah. This is when we're talking about on a Friday night, riding to the pub, or riding back from the pub.
Riding back from the pub. When everything seems a good idea.
And now it all came together and you're here.
Yeah.
And you're going all the way to Mexico?
No.
Just a view.
Yeah.
We haven't got time.
Yeah.
Or the energy.
Yeah, we've only got 3 weeks off.
Good morning. So I'm leaving the campsite here in Whitefish, Montana. We had a pretty big group of bikers in the campsite. There was one hiker as well. and it was a diverse group of people. It was pretty fun. There was a guy, a young guy who's biking the Great Divide mountain bike route. There were 2 other bike packers from the UK who are cycling basically from Canada down to Butte, Montana. There was like a homeless guy and a couple others, so pretty cool. And myself. Now it rained all night long and my tent was soaking wet when I woke up this morning. You can see I've got my rain gear on. I'm still wearing shorts, but hopefully it doesn't rain anymore today. The next 5 days it is supposed to rain. So today is potentially the last day where I won't be getting dumped on during the day as I ride. So gonna try to enjoy today as much as I can. I have about 50 miles I want to do today. Could be good if I went further just because rain is coming, and the next few days I might make short because of that, but I'll try to go as far as I can today. Apparently the road that I'm going to be cycling on is very narrow with a lot of traffic. It's what I've heard from the other cyclists, so we'll see what it's like today. So I'm off on a Forest Service road right now, kind of running parallel to the highway. This will save me 5 miles of cycling on the highway with like no shoulder and big trucks going past. So it's a little slower, a little hillier, but a whole lot more enjoyable. Okay, so I'm 20 miles into my ride today on this dirt road, and I just thought I'd stop and take a break. I just took my jacket off because I was getting hot. Quick update as far as a few things go. One, my new pedals are great. I love them. They're all dirty already, but they're so much bigger and so much stickier than my old pedals that I'm doing a lot better not slipping off the pedals like I was with my old pedals. So my crotch feels better as well because of that. That's the first thing. The second thing is my knee, this right knee, is still hurting me after 5 days into this trip. I'm doing okay on the bike, but it's just the walking. Even when I just go off my bike to set up the camera on the tripod or something and then walk back to the bike, my knee is just killing me. So I still have that going on and I can barely get up. This is my 360 camera, which I just bought, and you've probably already seen some shots from this camera in this video, but I just wanted to show you what I was shooting with. There's a lens on this side and a lens on this side, so it kind of shoots everything all the way around me all the time whenever it's on. So I can later in post-production edit the footage so that I can aim the camera kind of wherever I want it to go. So those are 4 things that are going on right now. 1, the sun came out, I took my jacket off. 2, new pedals are awesome. 3, my knee still freaking hurts, and 4, my new Insta360 camera. Okay, onward. So I've got 1 more mile on this dirt gravel road, and then I'm going to be back out on the highway for quite a while, maybe 20 miles or something like that. So this has been fun, but gotta watch out for cars now. Guys. So, today was a good day. I rode 63 miles, which is my longest day of this particular trip. Still not a crazy long day, but I'm pretty tired, and it's almost 8 o'clock. What time is it? It's like 7:48 right now. So I'm gonna set up my tent, and I have this awesome campsite all to myself. There's some other people camping over there. There's a toilet over there, and these other people camped right next to the toilet, which sounds great. But I'm gonna camp over here all by myself, which is even better. So this looks like an awesome campsite. I have a 180-degree view of the river, and I have a full stomach. I ate a pizza in town before I came over here, and I'm excited to just dry out my tent from last night. Look how wet my rain fly is from last night. It was pouring rain, and it's expected to pour rain tonight as well. So I'm gonna put this on and let it dry as much as I can while the sun is still out. And then it'll probably be wet again by morning. Ooh, another good day of bicycle touring in Montana. I actually came across 4 cyclists today, and one of them stopped and talked to me for a little bit, very briefly, and he basically said that he had talked to some other cyclist who told him that the Great Divide mountain bike route was closed because of snow. And I was like, that's weird, because I know a lot of people are biking it right now. So anyways, I biked up the road another 10 miles or so, and at this gas station I run into this other biker, and he looks pretty dejected and down, and I can tell something's wrong almost immediately, so I don't interview him on camera. But what he tells me is he's basically quitting his bike tour. He just started a few days ago and he's already quitting. Apparently he wanted to bike the Great Divide mountain bike route, and he got up on the route and there was some areas where there's snow covering the road or the trail, and he was hiking his bike over this snow, and apparently he slipped and the bike fell into his leg, and I don't know if he hurt himself or he just scared himself. It sounded like maybe he just scared himself more than anything, and so now he's quitting the tour. I have a feeling that this particular person is quitting, 1, because they did not physically train for this tour. 2, they did not mentally train for this tour. I don't think he did as much preparation mentally as probably he should have. I think he just threw some stuff on his bike and was like, I'm biking the Great Divide. And then 3, he let a couple little mishaps, like slipping in the snow, get him down. And I definitely have been there myself. Like, there's a million times when just something little, like me slipping and falling in the snow, feels like a much bigger thing than it really is. So I felt bad leaving him there at the gas station. He was gonna bike back to Whitefish, catch the train and go home from there. So I left him at the gas station and he seemed pretty dejected and down when I left. That being said, I left that encounter kind of feeling good about myself, because I've been injured on this bike tour. My knee has been hurting me every single day when I wake up, especially in the morning. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to do this bike tour at the very beginning. And so I left that meeting with that guy thinking, you know, as bad as I think I'm doing, I'm actually doing pretty darn good. So I felt good about myself. I felt good about what I'm accomplishing out here on the road. I felt good that, you know, like, I'm a cancer survivor and I've been trying to get over that for the last 6 years, and it's been super, super hard. But I feel like finally I'm starting to get there, and this trip is me realizing that I'm very close to being back to my old mental self. So, as bad as I feel about that guy quitting his bike tour, it made me feel better about my current situation. I seriously struggle in the mornings, if you can't already tell. I kind of make a joke about it, but I seriously have a problem because it's super hard for me to get out of bed. I went and visited recently a friend of mine, one of my best friends from high school. He lives in Nashville, Tennessee now. Went and visited him and his wife and his 2 kids in their new home in Nashville. And one day that I was there, the kids had to go to school. And so they were waiting for the bus. And when that bus came, those kids ran onto that bus with so much glee on their faces. Like they were so happy to go to school. And I just remember watching them and thinking, I don't think I ever once, as a kid or an adult, did anything that happily in the morning. I never went to school excited. I always went to school with dread. And I'm talking elementary, junior high, high school, university. I hated every second of it, I think. I don't know how I got through that. I think the only time I was that happy was like Christmas morning when I was 5 years old and I still believed Santa Claus was real. That may have been the only time I was happy, as those kids running onto that bus to go to school in the morning. And I think it was then that I realized I had a serious problem waking up in the morning, because even now, I freaking hate the mornings. It's terrible. And now that I am a cancer survivor, several people have told me, like, once they hear that I'm okay now, they say something like, oh, I bet you're so glad that you're all better now. You can, you really see the world in a new way, and you really go after things now. And multiple people have said something like that to me. And I totally understand where they're coming from. I've heard people say that before I got cancer, and it seems to be just something that people say to maybe make themselves feel better or something, or they think they're being nice. But in reality, since I got cancer, mornings have become a whole lot harder, and my motivation for doing anything is way, way lower. I can't speak for all cancer survivors, but for me, getting cancer just kind of took the meaning out of life, in a way. My motivation for a lot of things is just gone. For example, like making money or worrying about your status in society or something like that. I just don't give a shit anymore. Things like, I don't know, spending time with my friends or whatever is a lot more valuable. So I've spent a lot of time since having cancer just traveling around the world and meeting up with my friends and trying to make more friends. It's not always easy to do, but yeah, like the idea of like making more money just to make more money doesn't do much for me. Whereas before I would have been like, oh, I could make $100,000 a year if I did this, blah, blah, blah. But now I just don't care. I just don't care. So, yeah. People say, don't you feel a whole lot better since you got cancer? And I say, no, I don't. Honestly, I don't. Because I have no drive. For a lot of things, I have no freaking drive.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin.
So I've gone 51.5 miles for today, and I just spotted this campground. Like, see, there's people camping here. And as I was crossing the bridge, I thought, dang, this would be a perfect place to camp. And it looks like it's free, first come, first serve. There's only 2 people here at the campsite. So I may just stay here tonight instead of rolling off into the woods like I normally do. So just want to make sure it's free before I do that, and that it's not like $25. I don't see anything saying you have to pay. It just says first come, first serve. All campsites must be occupied nightly. 14-day limit. Campsites cannot be held or reserved. That's pretty much it. Sweet. I love a good free campsite. Whew. This wasn't even on my map or anything. Like, I had no idea this was here. Alright, let's look at the stats for today. 52 miles, basically. Took me almost 5 hours. Maximum speed, 29 miles an hour. Alright, this is home. I'm going to walk over here to the boat ramp, because one thing I do need is water, and so I'm just going to pull it straight from the stream and use my water filter. This guy behind me is watching me. Oh man, my thighs are so sore right now. Like, just pushing up and over those hills all day long. This lake that I was riding along, I was on it all day. Like, that's how long the lake was. 50 miles long. Whew. This is nice right here. This is cool. Yep. I'm gonna drink right out of this. I could even go swimming in here, which I might do later, just to take like a shower. Cool. Anyways, this is it. I'm glad I found this spot because I wasn't really looking forward to like rolling into the forest somewhere. I mean, if I found a cool spot, it would have been fine. But I did want something with water, and I have almost no toilet paper left, so I was kind of worried about that. But here, there's a bathroom and there's toilet paper in there, so I don't have to worry about running out of toilet paper and having to wipe with a pine cone, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to set up my tent and get some water. I'm thirsty. And then maybe I'll jump in the river really quick. I pitched my tent right here, one, because they have a sign that says you can only pitch your tent on the gravel, not on the grass. It would be nicer to sleep on the grass. So that's the first thing. Second of all, I'm getting blasted by the sun in this direction at the moment, but in the morning the sun's going to be over here, so I'm using these trees to hopefully shade myself from the morning sun so I can sleep in a little bit longer. Hopefully that'll work. So anyways, Okay, dinner time. Tonight I have a can of black bean soup and vegetable sandwiches. So that's what I'm going to be making. So this trip has been going pretty well, and I wasn't sure it would, to be honest. I haven't been bike touring much for the last 2 years or so because I had a massive panic attack right before the pandemic began in late, 2019, I guess, right before 2020. I was flying back from Ukraine. I had this massive panic attack on the airplane. It felt like I was going to die. My legs were weak. I felt like I was going to pass out. My heart was beating fast. I was sweating. I didn't know what was going on. And I was on an airplane at 30,000 feet for 14 hours, and I was having rolling panic attacks where I basically thought I was going to die, and then I thought I'd be okay, and then I'd have another panic attack right afterwards. And for anyone that's ever had a panic attack, it's like the worst thing ever. Those of you maybe who have had one know a lot of people have one panic attack in their life and they spend the rest of their lives dreading having another one. I've had probably at this point thousands, and I think I had probably about 100 on that one flight. So anyways, where did that panic attack come from is the next question. And the short answer is, I don't know. The long answer is, I think it was a side effect of having had cancer. I got cancer 6 years ago, and it's been really tough mentally to recover from that. One of the things that's happened since I got cancer was I've started having panic attacks. About 3 months after I was diagnosed, I had my first panic attack. I was out in the desert, and the world just started spinning. All of a sudden, randomly, I fell to the floor. I got really cold, even though it was like 110 degrees out in the desert. I was like freezing cold. I had to put a blanket over me. And I was dizzy. I couldn't walk. I couldn't see straight. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know it was a panic attack. I thought I was dying. And after that, I started getting smaller panic attacks pretty much any time I would leave the house. I'd go on a little walk around the neighborhood with my mom, and I'd have a panic attack where it felt like I was dizzy and I was about to pass out. I'd go to the supermarket, and it felt like the aisles were going to fall in on me and collapse, or I was going to fall into the aisle and cause a whole bunch of damage. So I'd go into the supermarket really quick, like running, grab the food that I wanted, and then I'd run out as quick as I could. I couldn't just linger in the supermarket. There was a whole bunch of other things, just even like driving. I was fine driving, but as soon as we'd come to an intersection and I'd stop the car, I would have a panic attack. So there was all these things that started happening to me. I didn't know that I was having panic attacks at first. And frankly, I didn't know that I was having panic attacks until I had that big panic attack on my flight back from Ukraine right before the pandemic. So after I had that attack, I knew that I needed serious help, and so I immediately sought help from any doctor that would see me, basically. I went to a psychiatrist, I went to psychologists, I saw a nutritionist, I went to everybody. And the truth is, none of them really helped me at all. I saw 5 different therapists because I just thought the ones I'm seeing are not helping me. And after the 5th one, I was just like, you know what? I'm doing better just kind of giving therapy to myself in a way. But basically what happened was I was diagnosed with agoraphobia, which is the fear of leaving home, essentially, which is kind of funny because I've traveled to like 70 countries in the world, and a lot of people who have agoraphobia have trouble leaving their house. I also have trouble leaving my house, just going to take the trash out or to run errands or things like that. I really, really hesitate to do, and that's probably why I have such a hard time waking up in the morning as well, is I really don't like going out into the world and seeing other people. So I was diagnosed with agoraphobia as well as panic disorder, which is essentially where you have multiple panic attacks in a single day. A lot of people just have one panic attack maybe in their lifetime and they never have another one. That's not the case for me. I sometimes have 15 or more panic attacks in a single day. And when I get a panic attack, like I said, my legs go numb, I feel dizzy, I get really weak, I get tired, like I get instantly fatigued. It feels like I've just run a marathon and I need to lay down and go to sleep. And it feels like I'm gonna die. So these are the two things that I've been dealing with on top of having cancer, is agoraphobia, the fear of leaving your house, and panic attacks, or severe anxiety is probably a better way to understand it. Severe anxiety and panic attacks on top of just going to cancer doctors and worrying about the cancer coming back. So this is why I've not been bike touring, and this is why I was a little afraid that this bike tour might not be possible. I have not gone on a multi-day bike tour like this since I had that major panic attack coming back from Ukraine. So I'm proud of myself for having done this so far, and I'm glad that I haven't had a major panic attack on this trip. I had one on the second day of the trip, but I didn't capture it on camera. I was just riding my bike and all of a sudden my legs went weak and I had to sit down. But since then I haven't had a panic attack, so I'm doing pretty well. And I'm happy about that, obviously. But yeah, it's crazy to think like I've known for a long time that I had a problem leaving the house. I just didn't know it was like a thing, you know? I just figured everybody hates leaving the house. No, that's not the case apparently. And that's what I was saying this morning about my friends and their kids. When I saw them go off to school, I thought, I've never in my life been that happy to do anything. Let alone go to school. So that's kind of the beginning of where I realized, like, oh shit, I got a problem. But at the same time, I also am proud of myself because I've known that I've had this problem for a very long time. It's like why I don't have a regular job. And yet, I've done a lot of things, like scary things, like going to foreign countries in Africa and South America and Asia by myself, like going through gang territory and confronting people with guns and all kinds of stuff that, like, if you have agoraphobia, you're just afraid to take out the trash or go to your car or something. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess it's just that, like, it sucks what I've been going through, but I'm also like kind of proud of myself for what I've done, you know? I don't know. It just sucks when like something like that holds you back from doing what you want to do, because like I know that I'm being held back by those things, but it is really hard to change, or it's like I know I need to change and I want to change, but I can't. That's why I sympathize with people that have depression or something. I mean, that's another part of it. I know that since I was diagnosed with cancer, I've been going through depression. So I'm depressed, I'm dizzy with panic attacks, I get weak legs, I get super fatigued. All of those things are bad for bike touring. Like if you have weak legs, you can't ride a bike. If you're super fatigued, you can't ride a bike. If you're dizzy and there's a semi-truck going past you this far away from your head, you know, you can't ride a bike. So it's been very, very tough. The journey to get here has been a long one, and I'm just glad that I've been able to do this. Yeah. I gotta put some sunscreen on today because I got absolutely fried yesterday when I was riding. My arms are so burnt right now. So, you know, we're out here in grizzly bear country, and I hear people say things like you gotta hang your food. You shouldn't even have like lip balm, because bears can smell this. But what about sunscreen? Nobody mentions sunscreen. Can they smell sunscreen? Because I'm like lathering myself in sunscreen right now. Does that mean tonight if I don't wash the sunscreen off, a bear can smell me from like a mile away? I don't know. Nobody says. I hope not. And sunscreen smells terrible, frankly. I hate the smell of sunscreen. You'd think we have, you know, rose scented shampoos and all these sorts of things. Why can't they make sunscreen smell good? It smells like shit. Ugh. Anyways. It's day 7 of my bike tour, so this will be 1 week that I've been out on the road. Haven't seen any bears yet. I've had 1 shower. Doing pretty well. So I'm back on the main road now, heading into town, the town of Libby, Montana. It's a Sunday, so I hope things are open because I'm hungry and I have like no food. I have a little bit of oatmeal, a few dates, and that's about it. So I need to stock up on food here in town. Yeah. Like when I've bicycle toured through other parts of the world, a lot of shops and supermarkets and things are closed on Sunday, so you had to plan ahead of time and carry extra food for a Sunday. So today's Sunday, and hopefully things are not closed, because if they are, I'm gonna be starving for the next 2 days. So I'm biking out of Libby, Montana right now. I just stopped at the supermarket there and bought $25 worth of food. I got some sandwiches. I got some more dates to eat. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got some Powerade and I'm on my way. So small little town, not much there, but just enough to get me fueled up for the rest of my journey here. Here comes the end. Bye-bye, train. That was cool. Biking right along this road, which goes along a railway, which goes along a river. It's pretty nice. So I've gone 47 miles for today, and off to my right here is Bull Lake, which there is a campground on the other side of the lake that I could stay at tonight, but I looked it up on the internet and it's $16 for essentially the same thing that I got last night, but for free. So I don't want to pay $16 just to camp in my tent. So I'm gonna go another 5 miles or so down to the national forest land up here. Like right now I'm cycling through all this private land. So I'm gonna go up to the national forest and camp for free in the forest. So I've gone 51 miles today, which is really all I ever planned on cycling, and I could pitch my tent right now somewhere right here in the national forest. That being said, tomorrow the weather report says rain, rain, rain all day long. So I'm kind of thinking of cycling for maybe another hour and just getting as far down this road as I can in that time. And that may be another hour and a half less that I have to cycle tomorrow, potentially in the rain. I think I'm going to cycle just a little further. It's still daylight for another 3 hours or so, but because I'm camping in the forest, I want to pitch my tent early. I don't want to be trying to do this just as it's getting dark or something. And I want to make food away from my camp, so I need some time. But maybe one more hour of cycling, and then I'll be good. I think I'm going to go into the trees right here. National Forest access, Dry Creek. Perfect. So you can see off to my right there, that looks like a little hill where people shoot guns into the hillside. And just up this road, I heard what sounded like an elk calling. So I'm a little on guard just to know that there are some animals back here. All right, I think I found my home for tonight. It's just this little tiny pullout on the side of the road. I don't usually like to camp this close to the road, but I just don't feel like pushing my bike back in the bushes. There's a big pile of deer shit right here. That's a good sign. And there's a little campfire that somebody had over here. There's my bike. And I went 55.5 miles today. 55.5. Good number. So I'm going to set up my tent and eat some food. Yay! So I've gone about I don't know, 2/10 of a mile down the road from my campsite. I'm just gonna make some food here. I got sandwiches again, yay! And I bought a yogurt at the supermarket. And that's it. So I'm not even hungry. So weird, I honestly eat less on my bike tours than I do when I'm at home. My hands are all purple. What's that from? I have no idea. Yeah, I eat less on my bike tours than I do at home. I think I eat more at home just because I'm bored, whereas out here I eat because I need the energy. Shit, what's going on? Now I got red and purple on me. I have no idea where this came from. Look at my hand. Looks like I'm bruised. It's weird. I don't know. So, the reason I'm eating far from my campsite, obviously, is because the potential for bears out here is very real. Haven't seen any bears in Montana. I've heard about people seeing bears, but I haven't seen any. In fact, in all my years of bicycle touring around the world, I think I've only seen a bear 3 or 4 times. In the wild, obviously. I've seen them in the zoo, and that doesn't count. I saw a baby brown bear climbing a tree in California. I saw a baby black bear dead on the side of the road in Romania. It had been hit by a car or something. I saw what I think was probably an adolescent black bear in the state of New Hampshire, and it was on a road very much like this one that I'm on right now. It was kind of coming towards me down the road, and my campsite was very similar to the one I'm in tonight. So I didn't have my bear spray on me when I first spotted the bear. The bear spray was in the tent. So I turned around, I filmed the bear for a little bit, and it was coming towards me, and once it got close, I went back to my tent to get the bear spray, and then when I returned to the road, the bear wasn't anywhere to be found. And so I turned around, and this bear ran across the road like full speed right towards me, scared the hell out of me, and then ran off into the bushes kind of just a few feet away. So that's been my closest bear encounter ever. And then I saw a giant black bear, I mean absolutely massive, in Dinosaur National Park in the state of Colorado. This was years ago, but I was just coming up a rise on a dirt road like this, and there was just this bear, and he was digging in the ground like he was going after a gopher or something. And I interrupted him, and he darted off into the trees or whatever. So those are my 4 bear encounters that I've had, and thankfully I've never had a bear come up to my tent in the middle of the night or anything like that. That's honestly like my worst nightmare. But it's a real possibility. And I've never seen a grizzly bear in the wild. Not even from a distance. I've seen them at the zoo and they're freaking massive. I would not want to run into one just 10 feet away. Quick update on my legs. My right knee is doing pretty well. I think today is the first day it really hasn't hurt me much. And I didn't wake up in any sort of pain. My left leg, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got kind of like scabbing going on right now, and it's pretty itchy. And that was the main thing that was bothering me today, was just like my leg was really itchy, and I keep wanting to scratch it, but I know I shouldn't do that. So yeah, my legs are doing okay, actually. I'm doing a lot better than I thought I might on this particular bike tour, considering how I started. So oh yeah. This is my favorite part of the day, when I get to crawl inside the tent, zip it shut, and end. One of the great things about modern bicycle touring is this. On my early bike tours, pre-cell phones and everything, I used to carry like 1 or 2 paperback books with me, and I'd burn through those books in about a day or 2, and then I'd have nothing to do. So I'd journal, I'd write down everything I was thinking, I'd make to-do lists of things I wanted to do when I got home, and then I'd be out of stuff to do. But with this, I have so much entertainment just in the palm of my hands. I have podcasts and books that I can read and movies I can watch. I downloaded a bunch of movies off of Netflix, so that's what I'm going to do tonight, is watch a movie and then probably listen to a podcast as I go to bed. So pretty cool that I can be out here in the middle of the forest watching Netflix. I like it. Anyways, favorite part of the day. Here we go. $10:47. It's still raining. So it's 12:30 now. I'm trying to decide what to do. I could just stay in the tent all day long and wait out the rain, which is tempting because I hate cycling in the rain. I just hate being cold and wet, getting my feet wet, getting everything wet. Whereas right now the only thing that's wet is the outside of the tent. Or I could pack everything up and just go for it. It's not raining like crazy hard. At least right now it's not. So that's a possibility. I mean, the truth is I need to get out of the tent at some point because I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm also gonna need food and water at some point. I do have enough water to survive for, 24 hours in the tent. And my food, I have more than enough food, but it's hung up in a tree 1,000 feet away. So I have to go outside and get wet to go get it. So I probably need to just get up and go. I only wanted to go 37 miles today because I did a little bit extra yesterday. So that's as far as I have to go, 37 miles. I could do that in 4 hours. But 4 hours in the rain
sucks. So I'm trying to just muster up the courage to pack up and go. I just don't want to. I've decided I'm going to go for it. I'm going to pack everything up and ride 37 miles, hopefully, something like that, in the rain. So the first step is to pack everything as best I can inside the tent, so that I have to do as little outside the tent as possible. So that means packing up the sleeping bag, the sleeping pad, all my clothing, put my clothes on, pack all my bags except for the food bag, which is in the tree. And then when I jump outside the tent, I pack the tent as quickly as possible, put it in my pannier, go grab the food bag, and then leave. That's the plan. First step, gotta get out of the sleeping bag. Another thing that I've kind of just realized is I've barely spoken to anybody other than myself for the last 72 hours or so. Yesterday I went into the supermarket in Libby, and the woman that was checking me out, checking my food out, I guess I should say, she was asking what kind of adventure I was up to, because she could tell that I was just, a mess. And I kind of told her, that I'm biking across Montana, and that's pretty much the only conversation I've had in the last 3 days. So, you spend a lot of time by yourself on these bike tours. And I think for some people, it could really be a problem, honestly. If you're the sort of person that needs constant social interaction, a bike tour like this would be really tough. And I'm out here right now with no cell coverage, so I can't call anybody. I have no internet. So that's not an option either, Like, I do have my phone, which definitely helps to keep me entertained. It gives me things to think about because I can read books on here. I listen to podcasts. I don't personally listen to music, but I guess if you're a music person, you could listen to music. I watch movies. Last night I watched 7 Years in Tibet with Brad Pitt, which was really good. I've never seen that before. And so, like, having all of that right here in my phone is pretty cool. And that helps to give me something to think about other than just like, oh, it's raining and I'm miserable. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a skill learning to be by yourself for so long. And it doesn't really bother me so much on the short term, like this trip is 2 weeks long and I could go the whole 2 weeks without talking to anybody. That wouldn't be an issue. I think for me, the thing that I struggle with more is the long-term effects of just being by myself for so long, because for example, I don't want to be alone all the time, but I also enjoy going off on these trips where I am alone. And so what that oftentimes means is me leaving home for long stretches of time and not seeing my friends that I want to be hanging out with. And generally that means that I have to sacrifice some of those friendships in order to do these trips. And I don't want to give up the whole friendship, obviously, but sometimes other people interpret it, me going away as me saying, well, I don't care so much about the friendship or whatever. Or I just lose track with people over time, I'm gone for weeks, months, years at a time, and you just kind of fade away into the distance. And that's happened a lot over the years, because I've been doing this for 22 years. And I make friends, but then I kind of lose them because I'm gone so much. Whereas if I lived a normal life where I'm just home all the time, that wouldn't happen quite so often. So that's what I mean about the long-term kind of effects of being by myself for so long is I'm alone on the trips, and then I'm kind of alone when I go home because I've lost the friends that I had there, or I have to make new friends and start all over again. So yeah, it's not the greatest way to live, and I'm trying to figure out how to solve that issue, partially just by being home a little bit more than I have been in the past, which has helped. But overall, yeah, it's still a problem I'm trying to solve. So yeah, so I've got all of my bags packed now, except for I just gotta put my shoes on and pack up the tent, and then I'm ready to go. And it's kind of died down from raining at the moment, which is nice. So I think this is good timing. If it was like pouring rain right now, I would never jump outside my tent. I'd just stay here longer. But the fact that it's super light at the moment is encouraging. Okay. So, put my glasses on. I am fully dressed except for the tent being torn down. So everything is packed. Every single one of my bags. Handlebar bag is ready to go. Front panniers are ready to go. The rear pannier just needs the tent inside of it. And that's it. So, here we go. I hung my food in a tree over here, I don't know, about 1,000 feet away from the tent. And I couldn't find a good place to hang my food. So I hung it in a really terrible spot, but I figure at the very least, like, it'll keep it away from squirrels and stuff. But a bear could totally have gotten this food if he wanted to. So I can see the bag now, it's still there. Just a good sign. Make sure there's no bears around while I go to retrieve this thing. So there it is. Like I said, a bear could totally get that if he wanted to, but it's high enough off the ground that he wouldn't be able to reach it. You'd have to climb the tree. But there it is. Okay, mission accomplished. I got the food bag, and I didn't get too wet doing it, which is good. Now I gotta go back and go to the bathroom. I gotta take a shit. I'm tired already here, just carrying the food bag.
man. It's a little wet,
Yeah.
cold.
Is it Darren?
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
That's funny.
Big fan.
That's cool. What's your name?
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's hilarious.
I gotta grab a picture.
Yeah, we gotta get one together. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm Jim from Vancouver Island. I'm just cycling to Ontario. Out here in Montana. This wet day. Yeah.
And what made you want to do this?
Every year I do a cycling fundraising for cancer, and this one it's just to kick it up a notch and go a little bit further and keep it going.
So are you doing a fundraiser right now?
Yeah. I have people pledging me as I go, and all the support. I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's been the best part of your ride so far?
Meeting people for sure. Just stopping in, talking to people. The conversations, everything's been great. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what about challenges? Have you faced any challenges?
It's
along the
been
way?
pretty lucky so far. The weather, the hills, all kind of welcome challenges as you go by. You beat them, and then you take on the next challenge, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
And why the cancer fundraiser?
I struggled with cancer in the past, and just wanted to pay back originally, but it's really satisfying getting all that support and everything else, and it's for children's cancer, and it's nice to see them get a fighting chance at life also. So, yeah.
That's a really cool thing that you're doing.
Right on. Yeah, really loving it. So it's good.
In multiple ways.
Yeah.
The bike ride and the fundraising.
Right.
And everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. So where are you off to now?
I'm hoping to get to Libby tonight, but it's a ways away, so I'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Good
Well,
stuff.
enjoy the rest of your ride.
Will do. Thanks.
So that was Jim back there. He's from Canada. He's doing a bike tour to raise money for cancer research or something. And he recognized me right away. Pretty cool guy. I'm tired. I'm going up a big hill right now. I can't even think. But yeah, that was awesome running into him. And he's going north to Libby, which is where I was yesterday. And I'm going south, and I'm only about 10 miles from the road up here where I'm gonna turn towards Missoula. So I'm nearing the end of my trip, even though I still have like 4 more days left. So I pulled over on the side of the road here. I'm getting drenched right now, and it's not a lot of fun. I'm not shooting a lot today because I don't want to ruin my camera, and yeah, I'm just trying to decide what to do. So there's a car behind me. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go 20-25 more miles if it doesn't get too miserable. If it does get miserable, I'm just gonna roll off into the woods somewhere. And I just checked the weather for the next 48 hours, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. 96% chance of rain, so it's probably gonna be very similar to today, which totally sucks. So I may just like sleep in my tent all day tomorrow and not ride my bike. I'm tempted to want to do that, but we'll see. I'm not sure if I have enough food for that, but yeah, I'm gonna keep going. So I've turned onto this little side road which parallels the highway. Super nice to get off that highway. Have no cars here. And the road is super nice. Look at this thing. Got the whole thing to myself. So it's still kind of raining on and off. It's like sprinkling. My shorts have pretty much dried out, but my back is wet from sweat and it's pretty cold. Like my face is kind of frozen and I'm having a hard time talking. So I've gone almost 30 miles now for today. I've just put my head down and pedaled, and I'm making good time considering I woke up super late and didn't get started until this afternoon. So I've only got about maybe 10 more miles that I want to cover today, and then I'll start looking for a place to camp. Unless it gets crazy clear and sunny and I can just keep going. Whoa, what was that? Otherwise, yeah, 10 more miles and then a place to sleep. Alright, so I just pulled off on the National Forest Service land, which means I am looking for a place to camp. That's the nice thing about national forests, is you can camp pretty much anywhere you want once you get in there. So I'm going to go down just a little ways so I'm not right by the road, and then try to find somewhere flat, which looks like it could be a difficult thing to do in this area, and pitch my tent for the night, knowing that I might be in that tent for a very long time, considering tomorrow it's supposed to rain like it did today. So look at this view behind me. Nice. So I've biked 3 miles down this road and I cannot find a good place to camp. I just found this little pullout on the side of the road, which I don't like to camp just on the side of the road because anyone driving past will see me here. And there's a sign right here up on this tree that says registered mining claim. Absolutely no prospecting allowed. This includes panning, sluicing, dredging, metal detecting, or any other activities that result in the removal of minerals. So it doesn't say anything about camping. So I mean, I can camp here. I'm thinking maybe of pushing my bike just behind those trees so I have a little bit of privacy and I'm not just parked like right here on the road. I think that's what I'm going to do. The only problem is if I park here, then people see that I'm here. If I hide over there, someone might come in and try to camp here. Unlikely, but it could happen. All right, so I'm sitting under a tree right now just to try to protect myself a little bit from the rain. It just started sprinkling. I've got this for dinner. I'm gonna try mashed potatoes, instant mashed potatoes, just add water. That's what you want when you're bike touring. No need for oil, eggs, milk, nothing. So I've never had this before. I don't know if it'll be any good, but if it's terrible, I still have stuff for sandwiches afterwards, so I'll probably eat both. So I ended up going just over 40 miles today, which I'm kind of surprised because the weather was terrible. And I didn't film during the worst of it because I just didn't want to ruin my camera. But it was cold and wet. I couldn't see where I was going sometimes because there was so much water in my eyes. Come on. And yeah, so 40 miles doesn't seem like a lot, but considering I didn't start till 1 o'clock today, and considering the weather, it's pretty good. So, and here we are in another free campsite in the National Forest. So, how much water? 2 cups of boiling water. How much is 2 cups now? Yeah, so I ran into that guy Jim today, who is also a cancer survivor like myself, and he's doing these bike rides for charity now, which is cool. I've thought about doing stuff like that, but I don't know, I've never really wanted to be like known as like the cancer guy, you know what I mean? So I've never really seriously considered doing something like that, but I kind of asked him, how are you doing since you had cancer, you know? And he's like, oh yeah, doing great, really going after things, trying to, you know, I felt like I wasted my youth, so I'm trying to do things. And I was telling him that that's exactly the response that a lot of people think that I've had after having gone through cancer. But the reality is, and like I was telling Jim, I said, you know, the opposite is kind of true for me, where it's really taken away a lot of my motivation for a lot of things, because I'm just not interested in doing certain things that otherwise I would have felt like I had to do, or like I'll put in my time and then I'll get paid off later. When you think that there is no later, it takes away your motivation to do things now, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I don't know if he fully understood what I was saying, but I'm glad that he's feeling the way that he is. So his situation sounds better than mine mentally. I don't know, I can't speak for him. I just put this instant mashed potato stuff into my pot, and at first I thought I had way too much water in here, but now look at it. Oh my god, it looks and smells really good actually. It looks almost like regular mashed potatoes. I have no butter or anything to put on this, but okay, here we go. It tastes good. I mean, for campfire food, I'm gonna look for these again, because it's super nice. It's warm, which is very nice on a rainy day. It's got a little bit of flavoring in it. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm looking at the ingredients. It smells something like, I don't know. Anyways, it's got some spices in there. Make it taste good. Don't need butter or gravy or anything. Woo! Mashed potatoes! Campfire mashed potatoes! Woo! Woo! Okay. It's time to hang my food bag. I have my toiletries and all my food inside this one bag. This is one of my pannier bags. So I just tie some parachute cord to the handle. I tie the other end of the parachute cord around a rock like this, just an irregularly shaped rock where the cord will hold. And then I throw this rock up over a branch, and I'm going to throw it up over this branch right here, and you can see how I get it up there. I've changed into my warm clothes. I got my fleece jacket on, which is thankfully still dry. If there's anything, you know, the bike touring kind of teaches you to be thankful for a lot of things, but food, water, shelter, all that kind of thing. Today I'm just thankful to be dry, because being wet sucks. It was very cold and very wet today, so I'm glad that it's not raining at the moment as well. It was nice that I was able to set up my tent without getting totally drenched. We shall see, however, what tomorrow holds. For now, I am going to watch Dark Shadows, which is a movie by Tim Burton starring Johnny Depp. I'm going to watch this, and then I'm going to go to sleep, and then hopefully when I wake up in the morning, it's not pouring rain. We shall see. So, good morning. I have no idea what time it is because all of my batteries are dead. My camera batteries are dead, my phone batteries are dead, my drone batteries are dead, my 3D camera batteries are dead, and this camera that I'm recording on is about to die any second. So I'm gonna eat some food, I'm gonna pack shit up, and then we're gonna go. The good news is it rained all night last night and now the sun is out. So I am using my solar panel over here to try to charge my batteries, but I haven't been able to do that for the last 2 or 3 days because the sun has been non-existent. So hopefully my solar charger today will charge my batteries. That is priority number 1 today. Cover some ground and charge my batteries. Okay, so I'm all packed now and I just want to show you how I've tied my solar panel onto the back of my touring bicycle. So here it is. I've just used some parachute cord to, this is from my... Okay, the camera died there. I've switched the battery to one of my old batteries, which has died previously. It's flashing that it's about to die. Anyways, tied the solar panel here with some parachute cord, and then I have the USB cable running down here into the power bank, which is stored inside this outside pocket, which I'm also storing my trash in. So hopefully, as I'm riding today, this will be charging my power bank, which I can then use later to charge my camera batteries or my phone. Let's go! Woo! Alright, so I'm on my way. At the moment, I'm about 140 miles from the city of Missoula, where my bike tour is going to come to an end. So I'm very close. And I could potentially finish this trip in 2 days, doing 70 miles each day. But my knee is still kind of hurting me, and I just don't want to push it. So I'm gonna do 3 days at about 45 miles each, you know, 40, 50, something, somewhere in that range each day. So 3 more days, no camera batteries. I may just pay to stay at a campground tonight if I can get electricity there. It's all about the electricity. If I can't get electricity, it's not worth paying for. So look at this freaking awesome valley I'm in right now. That campsite last night was amazing and I loved it. Totally free. The toilets were closed due to maintenance or something, but I don't care. Solar panel on the back. Woo! Watch for bighorn sheep next 10 miles. I'd love to see one. Be really cool. I'm a little bummed at the moment because of my camera situation. You know, part of the reason I do these trips is to make these films now. And part of me feels like if I'm not making a movie, what am I doing out here, you know? I mean, obviously I'm enjoying the trip for myself, but I'd like to be making these movies as well so other people can share in the journey and maybe learn a few things also. So, kind of sucks that I'm having to be so conservative with my cameras right now. But at the same time, it got me thinking about how I used to make my movies over the years, because when I did my first long distance bike tour at the age of 17, it was 2001 and digital. What I was saying was that on my early bike tours, the technology didn't really exist to document a bike tour in the way that I am doing now. When I first rode from Oregon to Mexico down the California coastline in 2001, I had a 35mm camera with 2 rolls of film, so I could take about 24 photos on the entire bike tour. Then the following year I did the same thing, rode across America with a 35mm camera and 2 rolls of film. So again, I have about, I don't know, 20 photos from that whole trip. Then the following year, 2003, is when I bought my first digital camera. It was a Sony CyberShot, if I remember correctly, and it had a 16 megabyte SD card in it, so you could take about 10 photos on this camera before you had to offload them onto some other device, which I would then go to a library and email those photos to myself, and then I would delete the photos, and then I could take 10 more photos. Then over the years, the cameras started to slowly get better and better. You could store more and more photos, and then you could, at some point, you could shoot video as well on a digital device, which was incredible for me because I knew that video would be the way to go, but it was still, the technology was a long ways off before you were able to store like hours of footage on a digital camera. So I, at one point, was carrying I don't even know what it was. It was a big camera, a big video camera that was about as big as a loaf of bread, and I had about 16 different tapes that were, mini DV tapes that you could record on. Each one recorded about an hour's worth of footage, and I would carry this massive load of cameras and recording equipment, and now the technology is so incredible that I can record hours and hours and hours and hours of footage, have thousands of photos just on my phone, on the SD card on my phone. So this is what's allowed me to make so many movies in the last few years, but it's a shame that technology is only where it is now, because if I could go back in time, I would have 15 years of additional videos that I could have shared from my bicycle train adventures all the way around the world. And it's such a shame that I don't have video from those early bike tours, that I really only have video from the last 5, 6, maybe 7 years or so is when the technology got to where I could create, a 15-minute video from a daily bike tour such as this. So anyways, just a little thing about cameras and technologies and batteries. I thought I'd record this on the side of the road instead of on my bike. I was afraid, now that I'm recording on my phone, I thought maybe you wouldn't be able to hear me. So anyways, I'm going to jump back on my bike. I don't see any bighorn sheep here, and continue on my way. is Cascade Campground, which is the only campground for quite a while. I just want to see if they have electricity, because if they do, I'll stay here, but if they don't, I'm gonna continue. It doesn't look like they do. I think there's almost zero chance of there being electricity here. Pit toilets, bare box, and it costs $15. So with no electricity, which is the only thing I really need, there's some water. Oh, it says water unavailable for use. So they don't even have water that I can drink. It's not worth the $15 to camp here for me. So I'm gonna keep biking on. And yeah, I've gone 39 miles today. So the goal is to go 45. And anything beyond 45 gets me closer to Missoula. That'll be less miles that I have to cycle on the last day. So it's still relatively early. It's, what time is it? It's 5:11 right now. So if I cycle for another hour, I should be able to get up to 50 miles or so for today. Then I'll be 5 miles ahead. So maybe I do, 50, 55 miles, something like that for today. And I just let my solar panel soak up some more in the sun. It is working. And I've noticed that my power bank has gone from 1 indicator light to 2 indicator lights, which means it's getting up to like 33% or something like that. So that's a good sign, but unfortunately there's no electricity here. Otherwise I would totally camp here for the evening. Well, that's unfortunate. Could really use some electricity, but oh well. Just do what I can, just keep going. So I've gone 48.5 miles today, and as I was cycling I just saw this little road on the side of the road, and it was a sign that said for non-motorized vehicle use only, which I can only assume is a bicycle, right? So I went up this little trail and then I pushed my bike through the trees because the trail kind of ended, and now I'm up above the road just a short distance. Like you can see the road. I'll show you over here just how close I am to the road. But anyways, this is National Forest land, and okay, I don't want to get, right there is the road. So I came up just this little ridge line up through these trees, and now I'm going to look for a place to camp right here in the forest. And yeah, and also like it's still sunny out, so I'm going to put my solar panel in the sun right there, in the brightest sun possible while it's still daylight. So for dinner tonight, I've got another packet of this butter and herbs mashed potatoes, Idahoan. These were good last time and they only cost $1.50, so there we go, dinner. The only bad thing about this is it uses up quite a bit of water, 2 cups. This is all I have to get me through the night, so just maybe 1.5 cups of water in here and some Powerade, some of which I've already drank. So that's got to last me all night long, and then the next town's about 7 miles up the road, 8 miles maybe. So in the morning, when I have no water left, I'll bike 8 miles and then get something at the gas station or whatever is in town up there. So I'm going to make the mashed potatoes, and then I'll make these vegetable sandwiches that I've had pretty much throughout this entire bike tour. So as much as I've been bummed about my cameras being dead, so I can't, show as much of today's ride with you as maybe I would have liked, the good thing about the cameras being dead is that I was able to just focus on the cycling. And the cycling today seemed so much easier than on any other day of the bike trip. And I think it was largely just because all I had to do was cycle. There was nothing else to think about. Whereas normally I'm thinking, oh, I should stop here and get a shot. But today I was like, I can't do that. Just keep riding. And so the miles flew by today in a way that they have not flown by on the rest of this trip. So that was a huge perk, added bonus perk, I guess, of having my camera batteries be dead. And as the Bicycle Touring Pro, someone who's made at this point more than 700 videos about bike touring all around the world, a lot of people come to me and they say like, oh, I want to make my own bike touring videos. And they're going off and they want to do their first bike tour and film the trip, in the way that I do mine. And I usually tell these people, don't do it. Just do the bike tour and focus on the bike tour. Don't film on top of that, because filming takes a lot of energy. I honestly think like bike touring is 3 times harder when you try to film and you have to stop and set up the tripod and circle back and go through the shot again and then go back and get the tripod and pack everything up. And then you're seeing today how I'm trying to manage my camera batteries out here in the middle of the forest and all this stuff. And it just wears on you mentally in a way that it just doesn't when you are not filming yourself. You can enjoy the actual cycling experience so much more, and those miles just clicked by today. Like, it felt like I did 20 miles, not 48 or whatever I did. So that's all. I just wanted to say, focus on your bike tour if you want a bike tour. If you want to make a movie, it's a lot of extra work. A lot of extra work. I was getting nervous there because the sun's going down and then my rope is stuck in the tree. Oh no. Anyways, today has been a weird day, but it has honestly been, I think, the best day of bicycle touring on this entire bike tour. I haven't spoken to a single person other than my mom on the phone all day today. The weather was just perfect. I was wearing my jersey all day long until it got dark just this evening. What else? The roads were just amazing today. I ate well. I got a good campsite right here on the edge of the mountain. Look at this view. I'm going to flip the camera. Look at the view I have from my campsite Oh yeah, and I have phone and internet tonight. Not that I necessarily need it, but it was good to call my mom and let her know where I am. So, a very good day of bicycle touring here in Montana. A very weird day, but a very good day. And yeah, there's only 2 days left. I'm kind of like sad that it's going to be over, but also kind of ready for a shower. I haven't shaved this entire time I've been out here. Have you noticed? This is probably the longest I've ever gone in my life without shaving. So anyways,
Hey there, buckaroos. This here's Billy Bob with Billy Bob's Bear Spray. The best bear spray west of the Mississippi. Guaranteed to shoot up to 30 feet. Just remember, aim for the eyes. When you find yourself rambling through the blueberry bushes in the middle of the afternoon and you come up against a big old brown bear, don't waste a bullet on that big old guy. Grab yourself a bottle of Billy Bob's Bear Spray. It's a guaranteed deterrent for black bears, brown bears, and even polar bears. Don't bother with that other stuff made in China, or even worse, in California. Grab yourself an authentic bottle of Billy Bob's Bear Spray, bottled right here in Butte, Montana. Woo! Freedom! Vote Trump!
you know, I thought that's what Montana would be like. I thought that's what the people in Montana would kind of be like. I guess that's maybe the stereotype. And in a way, I think they've kind of lived up to the stereotype, and in a way not. Because, yes, there are a lot of pickup trucks, oversized pickup trucks. It seems like 2 out of every 3 cars is a giant pickup truck. There's a lot of Bible verses on the side of the road. There's, in some of these little towns I'm passing through, there's more churches than there are people practically. There are a lot of Trump signs on the sides of the road, you know, political signs saying, vote Trump and all aboard the Trump train, and other things like we back the blue, and we support our troops, and things like that. What else? A lot of people smoke here that I've noticed, like way more than what I'm used to back home. I never see anybody smoking practically. And here I've noticed quite a few people. They get out of their truck and then they just light up a cigarette. And it's a lot of women actually smoking as well. So in that way, I would say Montana's people are living up to somewhat of the stereotype. But the few people that I have interacted with on this trip have been super nice, like just outgoing, friendly. No one's pulled a gun on me the whole trip. You know, I thought Montana would be very, very similar to Alaska, and it kind of is. But yeah, Alaska seemed even more extreme. I mean, in Alaska, a guy came up to me with a gun and said, "You don't belong here, and get off my land." And I've traveled all around the world, so I'm used to interacting with people that I see the world differently from. I mean, I would love to have a deeper conversation and find out why these people do the things they do or think the way they think, but it's very hard to have those conversations on a, you know, surface level with the woman at the supermarket. So anyways, just my thoughts on people here in Montana and what it's been like. It's been very nice. All right, I'm on the road now. It's super sunny today. I put a ton of sunscreen on. I may have some dripping off the end of my nose, I don't know. But yeah, nice day for bike touring. Woo! I reached this like dead end in the road and just kind of ended in this forested area. And the trail is gone. There's no road, there's no trail, nothing. I need to get over there to get to the campground. So I'm just bushwhacking it through the forest, pushing my bike. It's hard work and it's super hot today, humid. But my map says that there's a trail like 2/10 of a mile over here. So I just have to push a little further, hopefully, and then maybe there will be like a forest road or something that I can hook up onto and then go over to the campsite, because I'm only 8 miles away or something like that from the campsite right now. So just got to walk through this forest for what, 8 miles? No problem. All right, so this looks like the trail. It ain't much, but it's something. So I'm gonna just follow this now. I think I can ride. Whew, that was exhausting. Yeah, that's much better. So just follow this through the forest for I don't know how long. A couple miles, I think, until I get back on the road. I think the only way to avoid this is to go on the highway, which I didn't really want to do. So this is definitely more scenic. Whoa, a big old hawk right there. Just flew across. I've seen a lot of hawks on this trip. Only 2 bald eagles, 1 fox, 4 llamas, and a whole lot of deer, and no bear, which is kind of disappointing, but also I'm kind of glad. All right, back on a gravel road here. I have 3.3 miles on this road until I turn off over to the right here and go to a free campground that's supposedly up here in the mountains. Before I do that, I got to get some water. I don't want to do another night like last night where I had such limited water. I think I was very dehydrated this morning and kind of had a slow start because of it. So I'm hoping that before I go up to the campsite I can find a creek or a river to fill up my water bottles. Good to me. Got the whole place to myself. Oh, it's super wet here, and it feels like it's like really humid. I feel like I'm in the rainforest. Like it's gonna have a lot of mosquitoes. So I'm gonna set up my tent quick. Then I'm gonna go to the river and take a bath and get some water. Want to see something gross? Look at my arms. I got sunburned and then I started sweating, and the sweat got trapped underneath the burnt layer of skin. So that's my left arm. Look at my right arm. This is nasty. It looks like poison oak or something, but it's just sweat trapped under my skin and kind of itches a little bit, but mostly just looks nasty. Anyways, I put a lot of sunscreen on today, so hopefully this heals up pretty quick. Check this out. This is really cool. I didn't even know this was here. Measuring over 6 feet in diameter and nearly 200 feet tall, this pine tree right here is the largest known ponderosa pine in Montana. This giant contains enough lumber to build 2 average-sized houses. Over 350 years old, this amazing tree is still growing. And then it shows how it like survived fires and logging. Birds are using it. Native Americans hollowed out ponderosa pines to make canoes. How big is the largest ponderosa pine on record? The largest ponderosa pine on record lived on the humid Pacific coast and measured 220 feet tall and 8 feet in diameter. The typical mature ponderosa pine is 100 to 200 feet tall. So this one is 200 feet tall, which is very close to the record, which is really awesome. So tonight for dinner, I'm making another pot of mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna finish off my sandwich stuff that I've been carrying. And that's pretty much all the food I have. I have a little bit of oatmeal for the morning and some dates to eat while I'm cycling tomorrow, and that's it. So I timed my food rations almost perfectly.
So, it's the last morning of my bike tour. I just made some oatmeal, and I've only got about 45 to 50 miles to ride today, so should be a good day. Kind of sad that the trip's coming to an end, because this has been a really good bike tour, probably one of my best bike tours in the United States. And I think part of the reason it's been so good is because of the national forest. Like, just being able to camp in these free campsites, which I think I've stayed in about 4 free campsites on this trip. And then the other nights where I wasn't paying for a campsite, I think I paid for 3 campsites. But the other nights I was just sleeping for free in the national forest. So the ability to just pull off into the woods on this bike tour has been super nice. It, reminds me a lot of Sweden or Finland, the bike tours that I did there, just being able to roll off pretty much anywhere you want to and sleep, and I really enjoyed that. So it's been a very, very good bike tour. Anyways, I'm gonna eat, finish packing up, and then we'll hit the road.
So you have a big old hill to climb here right in the first mile of the day, and I don't particularly enjoy climbing at the beginning of the day. I'd prefer it halfway through or even towards the end. definitely not the best road to cycle on, but at least the shoulder's wide. Alright, I'm getting off the freeway. I didn't get pulled over by the cops or the state troopers, so that's good. I'm about 8 miles out of Missoula right now, and I just saw the big white M on the mountain, which means I'm getting very close to the city, even though it still feels like I'm out in farmland. So yeah, 7.5 miles now until the end of my ride. Woo! As my bike tour across Montana comes to an end, I can't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude for the experiences that this journey has given me. From the stunning natural beauty to the welcoming towns and friendly locals, bicycle touring across this remarkable state has been an adventure like no other, filled with moments of awe and inspiration. As I reach the end of my journey, I'm blown away by the natural beauty of this sizable US state, and I hope that my journey here has inspired you to get out and explore the world, one pedal stroke at a time.